That sticky June night in Oak Ridge Estates. The air thick with humidity and the distant hum of lawn sprinklers. I stood at the fence chatting quietly with Karen Grant about the latest spike in our HOA fees. 5 minutes later, my stepfather Victor Klein exploded onto the porch like a storm unleashed. He believed the neighborhood was quiet, that no one would hear. He had no idea every porch had cameras and mics, or that the weekly neighborhood watch stream was live. Our own doorbell camera captured every word. I had no clue his outburst would unravel a multi-million-dollar embezzlement scheme, culminating in his public downfall at an emergency resident meeting. My name is Elena Vargas. At 27, after my relationship crumbled, I never thought I'd unpack boxes again in my childhood bedroom in Oak Ridge Estates, a neat subdivision outside Milwaukee where every lawn looked identical and gossip spread like wildfire. The house felt frozen in time, but Victor Klein had transformed it. He married my mother Sandra 5 years earlier, arriving with his polished appearance and immediately taking the HOA treasurer role. At first, he seemed harmless, just particular about curb appeal. Living under his roof showed a different side. The garage door stayed shut except for vehicles. Packages must be collected within 30 minutes. No lingering outside after dark. And no real conversations with neighbors beyond polite waves. Sandra stirred her coffee anxiously. Victor likes order. Sweetheart. It keeps things running smoothly. I worked as a process improvement specialist at a logistics company, spotting patterns and waste all day. My mind never switched off. Victor's rules weren't efficiency. They isolated people. HOA fees jumped 40% since January. Victor's newsletter blamed infrastructure needs. But walking around, I saw nothing new. The playground equipment was sun-bleached plastic from years ago. The pool house window remained broken, taped over. I met Karen Grant dragging recycling one evening. She and Tom, retired teachers, turned retirement into community involvement. She remembered me from childhood bike rides in the cul-de-sac. We laughed until Victor appeared silently on the porch, arms crossed, staring until I went inside. At dinner, he cut his food precisely. Stay away from immigrants. They're troublemakers, always demanding receipts and audits. That creates distrust. His fork paused. His eye twitched at receipts. My mother squeezed my hand under the table, signaling silence. But my brain filed his defensiveness, like suppliers I'd caught padding invoices. That night in bed, the air conditioner cycled inefficiently. Fees were now $308 monthly per home. Across 250 homes, that was over $20,000 extra monthly for non-existent improvements. Victor's rules revealed fear of questions. The Grants asked them. My career was built on asking them. Patterns developed slowly. I requested old newsletters. Public records Victor couldn't refuse. Spread on my desk. I highlighted expenses. Repeated parking lot sealing, landscape work, snow removal in mild Wisconsin winters. Always same vague amounts in photos. The March and June photos matched exactly. Same shadows. Same car in the same spot. Magnifying glass revealed a prior year date stamp on one. Contractor signatures looked forged, matching Victor's handwriting tilted slightly. Sandra brought chamomile tea one late night. I mentioned resealing parking lots 4 times yearly. She frowned at the excess. I asked about financial statements. Victor handled them exclusively. Meetings conflicted with her book club. He limited eyes on his work. The next morning, Victor announced he'd collect all mail for security. His fingers lingered on my manila envelope from the county clerk. Business records for Oak Ridge Services, LLC. He opened it later while I was out. The documents showed Oak Ridge Services registered to A.V. Klein at a P.O. box. Managed by Klein Consulting, owned by Victor's brother in Minnesota. My phone buzzed. Karen, saw Victor with your mail. Coffee tomorrow. She watched from her garden. Victor added a rule, no sharing HOA documents. Or eviction. He knew I was digging and threatened homelessness. I'd copied everything. My poker face from corporate audits held firm. The humidity thickened as summer progressed. I waited for Victor's Lexus to leave for golf before crossing to Karen at the property line. Playground fund collected $40,000, yet quotes were $15,000. Tom tried raising it. Victor cited rising costs and permits. County records showed no permit applications. Karen's eyes sharpened. How deep? I shared shell companies, duplicate billings, mail monitoring. Porch light blazed. Victor stormed across the lawn in golf clothes. Whiskey on his breath. Face twisted. Get inside. He grabbed my arm bruisingly. You think you're clever? Stirring trouble. I pulled free. Civic duty. He threatened my job. My mother's divorce assets. Keep quiet or I'll shut it for you. Crowd gathered. Tom raised his phone. Doorbell lights glowed. Karen's tablet streamed the watch meeting live to 40 households. Sir. Step back, Tom said. That sounded like threats. Police called. Victor smiled fakely, but panicked. Family disagreement. Voices called out extortion. Sirens approached. Victor accused me of hysteria. Audit the books to clear your name, Tom suggested calmly. Officers arrived. I filed for assault and shared irregularities. Victor snarled but bravado cracked as Karen held up the tablet. But let's rewind slightly to the days leading here. After discovering the shell company, I worked late analyzing. Victor's system was theater, single bids. No competition. Board members replaced after conflicts. Receipts showed snow removal on 72-degree days. Repeated fence repairs with identical photos. At the library, I built spreadsheets mapping flows. HOA pays Oak Ridge Services, which pays Klein Consulting 80% as fees, remainder to minimal real work. Conservative estimate $400,000 over 3 years. Victor franchised it to other HOAs. I contacted the Wisconsin Integrity Unit. Investigator Sarah Martinez met me. She reviewed my flowchart. You've done half our work. She subpoenaed records. Accounts frozen. I prepared testimony. Victor violated the restraining order via proxies. I moved to a secure studio. Emergency HOA meeting called by legitimate board members Victor had sidelined. The community center buzzed. Victor's Lexus sat outside. Him seated confidently. Janet, my lawyer, warned via earpiece of the restraining order violation. He refused to leave until confronted publicly. The room packed. I presented 45 minutes. Phantom repairs. Forged signatures. Shell companies. Multi-state patterns. Gasps at Oak Street. Tree removal on a treeless cul-de-sac. Audio of threats played. Votes unanimous to remove him. Pursue charges. Audit. Sarah offered plea. Restitution. Testimony. 5 years. Victor's brother flipped immediately. Victor escorted out screaming. Post-meeting. Neighbors shared stories of unperformed work. Sandra waited by her car. Lighter now. Divorce straightforward due to hidden assets. 3 days post-report. Library became command center. Public records showed elegant fraud. Problem identified. Single bid. Approval. No competition. Board manipulated. Sarah confirmed 480,000 suspicious. Plus interstate links. I rehearsed with grants. Turnout massive. Victor appeared defiantly but left under order. Evidence undeniable. New controls voted. Triple signatures. Audits. Bidding. 6 months later. Federal courthouse. Elena testified 2 hours on patterns. Evidence. Cross-examination failed against documentation. Mother described isolation. Brother detailed operation. Victor's arrogant stand collapsed. Guilty on all counts. Sentenced 18 years. 2.8 million restitution. Civil recovery. Mother's divorce finalized with house and assets. New HOA leadership. Transparency. Whitmore-like fund for whistleblowers. Elena promoted. Mother moved on. Communities vigilant. Standing at my window, I reflected on power crumbling when questioned. The revenge was neighbors now reading fine print. Attending meetings. It started with one conversation refusing silence. Ordinary people with spreadsheets and courage can reclaim trust.